welcome to the Crafty Tinkerer. I'm Nicole, and I would just like to apologize for there being such a delay since my last podcast. I think it's been like 5 or 6 weeks. We had family come in from out of town, and we've been really busy with our decorating. We do lots and lots of Christmas decorations, so we do a little bit each day, and it's taken quite a while. We only just finished like a few days ago. We're done. And this is the real tree that we went to cut down. I'll talk about Christmas for a little while, so I'll warn you. Before the knitting, Christmas. My husband is British, and so what we try to do is combine some of the traditions that he had when he was a kid, and then some of the things that my family did when I was a kid, and then sometimes we read about something and decide to incorporate that. So when our daughter was 2, we started to go to a real Christmas tree farm and cut down our own Christmas tree. And we continued to do that year after year, tie it to the roof of our car and bring it home. This year, my sister and her fiance were able to join us, which was really fun because her fiance grew up in Guam, so they don't have Christmas tree farms in Guam, and she had never been to cut down a Christmas tree before. So we let her, do a little bit of the cutting, but usually my husband, Paul, will cut the tree. I hold it at the top to make sure it doesn't fall over on him, while the kids look around and make jokes about how we should take the teeny tiny trees home, or the trees that are 25 feet tall that would never fit in the living room without cutting a hole through the ceiling. So anyway, that's one of our favorite things. Here we are at the Christmas tree farm. It's a beautiful day. We just got our tree! Merry Christmas! Now, another one of our favorite things is my mother-in-law buys Cadbury's chocolate advent calendars and mails them to us every year, and the kids love them. Although our son this year requested a Maltesers advent calendar because he loves Maltesers, and he didn't realize that only on Christmas Eve will you get an actual Malteser. He thought there would be little Maltesers every day, but it's actually the chocolate that they cover. They just put a little solid chocolate reindeer, elf, whatever shape, kind of like the Cadbury's ones. And then on Christmas Eve, you get a Malteser reindeer. So he is anxiously anticipating Christmas Eve. So he can finally get his Malteser. Anyway, this year, my husband and I didn't actually get chocolate advent calendars, but I was lucky enough to have stumbled across the GamerCrafting podcast. I can't even remember how I found it, but I started watching it about a month ago or so, maybe. Yeah, I would say about a month, maybe 2 months ago. And they were giving away 3 yarn advent calendars. And I wasn't able to watch their live stream where they were going to give away one. But then they had another 2 that they were giving away if you followed them on Instagram and Facebook and subscribed to their newsletter and everything. And I was already following them in a couple of different places. So anyway, I, filled out all the things. And then once the contest ended, I got an email from Angie, and it said that I had won one of the yarn advent calendars. So a few weeks later, I received the yarn advent calendar. And I have to say that it's been so much fun opening a new package every day. I am not a peeker. I was about 12 one year when I found where my mother had hidden a stash of a few gifts, and I looked at them, and on Christmas morning I was so disappointed because I already knew what everything was. So ever since I was 12, I have never peeked. I don't like to know what is in the presents. So even with the advent calendar, I don't peek. But it's been really fun, and I'm going to show you all the different yarns. I have been posting on Instagram, and I think on my Facebook page. I'm pretty sure on my Facebook page, and maybe Twitter, but I'm not sure about that. So this was the yarn I got on day 1. Now, each of these mini skeins of yarn is 21 grams, and I think it's fingering weight, but I'm not 100% sure about that, I have to say. So this was day 1. I have them all stored in this little box. This is day 2. Day 3 is definitely my favorite, with the teals and the blues, because I am a blue person. Day 4, it's like a peachy yellow, goldish. Usually I'm not a fan of yellows, but I actually do like this color. And then day 5 is a darker blue. One of my children just woke up. Day 6 is purple with a little bit of pink. Day 7 is pink and purple together. Day 8, put on your sunglasses, is bright pink and purple. And today is day 9. Today is the 9th of December, and it's another blue. So I haven't started any projects with the yarn because I don't want to rush, I don't want to try to rush and figure out what I want to make with it. So I'm going to wait and open all of the packages and then see after that what I would like to make with it. But right now I have no idea. So if you have a yarn advent calendar, what do you make with the yarn? I've seen socks. I've seen a shawl. I thought about making like an infinity scarf because it's nice and soft. So I don't know. Maybe I'll make a pair of socks with it, but I'm not really a sock lover. I love socks. I love to get handmade socks. I really don't like knitting socks for whatever reason. I would much rather knit Christmas balls or mittens and speaking of mittens, I have done now 2 pairs of the Granny Glitten's mittens. I cannot recall, I'm pretty sure that I mentioned that I was going to start doing the Granny Glitten's mittens. It was a make-along. I on the I Make Mittens group on the Ravelry forum. Becky Green is the one who designed the pattern, and we received 1 clue each week for 4 weeks. So the first part of the pattern came out in the first week, second part came out in the second week, etc. for November. And the first pair I made, I used Manos del Uruguay Maxima yarn in pewter. Now, my husband wore these mittens while he was snow blowing. We got about 15 inches of snow sometime last week. And he put them on with the patterned part of the mitten on the bottom of his hand. So they have felted a little bit where he was holding them, but I'll show them to you anyway. There's a little Christmas tree on the side, but I really loved how these came out. The first part, you're probably not going to be able to see it, but the first part has like diamonds, and then there's squares, and then there's a snowflake here, and then, you know, it all comes together at the top. So I posted a picture of them, and my aunt loved them so much that she asked me if I could make her a pair. My mother also would like a pair, but we're gonna take a trip to the yarn store while she's on break over Christmas. So anyhow, the ones for my aunt, I asked her what color she preferred. Any color, she said. So I picked out Jill Draper Makes Stuff, her Kingston yarn, and this color is called Rondout Street. And you can probably see the pattern a little better in this, but I have no idea because I won't be able to see this until the video is done being made. And the first mitten came out great. Yesterday, we were watching Home Alone and Home Alone 2 on TV while I was knitting this mitten. And after I finished it, I realized something is not quite right here. So today I'll probably pull this out and fix it. But I was a little concerned because they are actually already the same length. So if I add 3 more rows to this one, it's going to be a little bit bigger. But they have to match. Now, if these were just for me, I would probably have just left them. But they're for my aunt, so I'm gonna pull out the top. And I still have to finish the thumb on these. But this yarn is really great for these mittens. I wouldn't want to use the yarn as a scarf because it is more rustic, but for your hands, it's great. So I think that these will definitely be warm mittens. And I love the color. So I might have to get another skein of it. I do also have a creamish color, which is Front Street, I think it's called. Also the Kingston yarn that I picked up during her open studio in October. And I thought about making the mittens out of that, but cream or white I don't think is conducive to wearing on your hands, for me anyway, because I'm afraid they'll get really, really dirty. So I thought the dark blue would be good. And that's pretty much it for things that I've mostly finished. Well, these are very nearly finished. These are finished. I did pick up a project that I was working on last year for my brother. One of the designs of the Christmas balls from the Arne and Carlos book, 55 Christmas Balls to Knit. He really liked the Christmas pig. So I started it last year and I didn't finish it before Christmas, so I put it to the side. And then this year I picked it up and I was looking at it. I never did the legs on the pig. Like, I got up to about halfway up the body and I never put the legs on. So instead of taking it out, what I did was I just finished it and then I duplicate stitched the legs on. Thank goodness I learned how to do that. I don't have it with me right now, but I will post a picture of it. Anyway, and the other project, once I finish these mittens, I'm going to continue to work on the other Christmas ball that I'm in the middle of making. Now, this is one of their mini Christmas balls, and I found the pattern, I think it's on the Schockenmeyer yarn website, but I'm making this, with the Elemental Affects yarn that I picked up at the Perfect Blend yarn and tea shop in Saugerties. So far I have about 1/3 of this mini Christmas ball. And I don't know why I thought, actually here, I'll put it up a little bit closer. I don't know why I thought it was smaller. Last year I made very small ones for a mini Christmas tree that we have. But I must have made up my own pattern for it. So I'll have to take one down and look to see how many increases I did. Because I'm thinking the regular ones have like 7 or 8 increases. The minis have 3 or well, actually they may have 4 or 5 increases. I may have only done 2 or 3 increases on the like teeny tiny ones that I made last year. They're mini ulicular. So I'd like to make some more of those because we only have 3 for that teeny tiny tree. And it probably should have about 12. So once this mitten is fixed and the thumb is on, which will probably happen today, I'll finish that and then I'll start some more teeny tiny Christmas balls. So that's pretty much all that has been going on in terms of knitting. I love the yarn advent calendar. So thank you so much, GamerCrafting, Angie, for giving these away. It's been so much fun opening it every day. And it is better than chocolate. I never thought I would say that, but it is better than chocolate. In the next few days, we'll be starting to make Christmas cookies. My son has been itching to make cookies now for a few days, and the first day the butter was in the refrigerator, so we had to take that out, and then, you know, a bunch of stuff happened, pushed it back. But we do have to make our cookies. Every year we do cookies for family and friends and neighbors, our mail people, our UPS drivers, and that's it. I think that's the whole list. Oh my gosh, and I haven't even gotten my Christmas cards out yet this year. So usually that's like December 1st for us. We are running late. So anyway, most of the cookies that we make are chocolate chip. We do peanut butter blossoms, gingerbread people, sugar cookies. And last year, or was it 2 years ago, I can never remember the name of this Italian cookie, but it is like a strip of dough that you cut and braid at the bottom, and then you deep fry it on both sides, and then when you're done deep frying, you put it in a bag, you put honey on it and put them in like a brown bag. Maybe you put them in the brown bag first to absorb the oil. That's how it went. And my best friend growing up, her grandmother made them every year, and she made tons and tons and tons of them. And they were like one of my favorite cookies because they were different to, you know, what my family made. And they're dipped in honey. And I love honey, or they're drenched in honey. It's not just drizzled, they're like coated in honey. So anyway, I made some of those last year, which they were great. I don't know what kind of things you do for the holidays, but if you have any good cookie recipes, even if it is not a holiday recipe, please feel free to put a link down in the comments because I'm always looking for new cookies to make. And that's pretty much it. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have a good cookie recipe or another comment, please leave them down below. And if you haven't, but would like to see updates, notifications when I post another video, there will be a button over here. You can click it and then don't forget to press the bell for notifications. I will see you soon. Have a great day.